Hello, this is Ali El-Bahrawy again. This is the second module after the lecture of the history of infographics. I am going to talk to you about creative graphs published by National Geographic magazine and other sources. This first one is an interesting most in translation graph where it compiled UNESCO most translated authors. The size of the last name is proportional to the number of translations listed below the name. The color indicates the language of original publication. As you can see, we can see dark blue English, brown German, French in red, Russian in green, Danish in yellow, ancient Greek in light blue, Italian in purple, and Swedish in orange. We can find that Agatha Christie ranks 1 with the number of translations 6,362, followed by Shakespeare and Emil Blyton. And for the German language, we find that Brothers Grimm comes first. For French language, it is Jules Verne, and for Danish it is Andersen with 2,624 translations. Beautiful graph. The second one has to do with century of death. The left y-axis show the country, the number of people total death, and the number of episodes, and the size of the circle shows the number of people dead. You can see that under the circles you will find Germany during the World War II, the USSR, about 20 million murdered, most under Stalin's region, China under Mao, 30 million killed, mainly in the Great Leap Forward. You can also find Sudan, you can find Iraq. It's called a bubble chart, and the x-axis is the timeline. This graph shows the dollar figures reflect all public and private spending on care, from doctor visits to hospital infrastructure. Data are from the year 2007 or the most recent year available. You can see that the vertical axis to the left shows the name of the country, Switzerland, and the comes second after the United States, and the health care spending per person in US dollars is 4,417. Of course, the United States is the largest with the expenditure $7,290. The right vertical axis show the average life expectancy, where you can see the United States people pay a lot, but the average life expectancy is about 78 years old, compared to other countries who pay less, like Japan, which pay 2,581, and the average life expectancy is about 82 and a half almost years. Also, the thickness of the blue line shows the average number of doctor visits a year. As you can see, we have 4 thicknesses that counts the number 4, 8, and 12 plus. The nation with universal health coverage provided by public and private insurances. Another beautiful graph. Before I end, I like to mention Mexico, where they pay the least amount of health care spending, but the average life expectancy at birth is around 75 years old. This graph shows the worldwide friends using social media, and the date is 2009 with more than 830 million users visited social networks via home and office computers. 10 sites below in dark blue has the most visitors. Green lines connect countries where networks are most popular to their 3 favorite sites. You can see that we have Facebook with 430 million, then the Windows Live profile with 164, then MySpace with 110. We can also notice countries like United States has users of Facebook a lot. Actually, if you count the number of vertical lines here, it shows you every line, vertical line is 10 million people. Therefore, the United States, the most three popular types are the LinkedIn, MySpace, and Facebook. And you can see the same for the United Kingdom, for Japan, for China, for Germany, and other countries. This particular graph has to do with the Egyptian Revolution, and it depicts the Middle East Twitter users, where the orange one shows self-identified as Egyptian, and the blue are others. Every point is one Twitter message or a tweet sent by one user, and the same 3 days of tweets sent by one user are shown because they are on the same horizontal line. The white space with very scattered orange dots are the Egyptian internet service providers stopped service suddenly on January 28, interrupting access to thousands of users. But some Egyptian Twitter users found ways to tweet despite the interruption. But if you look at the blue part at the bottom, it shows not all Egyptian Twitter users in the Middle East network designated themselves as Egyptian, but their slowed tweets indicate their location. Messages from many users outside Egypt increased, possibly in response to the service interruption. A piece of art that shows you in a beautiful infographics a description of one element or one side of what happened in Egypt in 2011. The second part of the presentation has to do with maps and graphics. If you look here, you will find that we can put data on maps, and in this particular one it used country averages of the percent of population with access to improved drinking water at the year 2002, where we have colors ranging from more than 90% to no data available or fewer than 25%. This is similar to the previous map, but it shows the percent of population under water stress. Water stress is defined as per capita share is about 1,000 cubic meters annually, and it's all done by country. But this data by country does not tell the whole story. The whole story can be shown if we look inside the country and use 7 dimensions to explain water stress in relation to population density, where we have blue gradation and red gradation to show the water stress low to medium to high, and shows the population density high, medium, low. It can, for example, this dark red color shows high water stress and high population density, and the very light blue here shows low to medium water stress and low population. What's interesting is the gray color, where it shows Canada looks like Sahara in Africa. Why? Because this particular water problem has more to do with population than with water. Even for the very water rich country like Canada and very water poor area in Sahara, they have the same color. Very interesting. This particular map of the world of 7 billion shows another world map using 16 dimensions, showing low income, lower income, upper income, and high income, where the map shows population density. The brightest points are the highest densities. Each country is colored according to its average annual gross national income per capita using categories established by the World Bank. Some nations, like economic powerhouses China and India, have a especially wide range of incomes, but as the two most populous countries, both are lower middle class when income is averaged per capita. This is called a cartogram, and it shows the countries of the world where the political borders are the same, but the size of the country is proportional to population. Where you see each country in this cartogram is sized according to its projected population in year 2011. Black dots represent the country's population in 1960. Light dots are population added since then. Each dot represents 2 million people. Colors indicate the amount of growth detailed in the legend that I'm going to read now. Nations with population under 1.5 million are not shown. If you look at the legend here, you will find that color shows amount of growth from 1960 to 2011 with the purple color for more than 300% and the very faint blue color is less than 50%. You can find also comments. China 111% increase is below the world average, and Europe collectively grew only 21%. The United States grew 72%, and you will find India gained 782 million people, the largest single contribution to world population. By the year 2030, its population is expected to top China's. In Africa, Cote d'Ivoire grows the most, rising 541%. In this particular graph, we combined three things. We combined photograph that tells that Germany leads the world in wind energy. Modern turbines like this produce enough power for 5 million European homes. And we have the map and two adjacent stacked columns. One of them for production and the other one for consumption, using 5 different colors: green for renewable, brown for nuclear, blue for natural gas, light brown for oil, and gray for coal. By the end of this short presentation, I am going to give you another musical break, but this musical break is about Mr. Johann Sebastian Bach, and the piece of music you are going to listen to is called Minuet in G major, and it lasts for 1 minute and 31 seconds. Enjoy the information and enjoy the music.